What countries are on your personal do not travel list and why? Somalia, because the first thing that shows up on Google is that if you're traveling there, that you should fill out a will as your chance of survival is small. Egypt. Been there once, and a 26F will never return. A woman in our tour group escaped a kidnapping attempt, and I was paranoid the entire time, because the tour guides told the woman to wear sunglasses, because looking Egyptian men in the eyes basically means we wanted to fuck them. NGL, I was paranoid and scared the entire trip. China, Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Somalia, Congo, and most of the countries with government instability. Any country that doesn't want me. Saudi Arabia would disagree with my religious and lifestyle practices, so they don't want me there. Australia, however, is fine with how I live, so they'd be fine with me over. I go where I'm welcomed. I wanted to go to Russia since it's where I was born and adopted from, to hopefully meet my birth mother since she may be still alive and see where I was born, maybe see the orphanage I was from, but definitely not right now given the circumstances. I just know the citizens there are probably lovely and they have nothing to do with Putin's bitch-ass plans, but it just seems unsafe. Any country where I cannot openly criticize the government without serious legal jail etc. consequences. Note: being punched by a passerby is different. Any country where my wife does not have the same rights as I do. Any country where my LGBT friends are not welcome. I refuse to go to countries where being queer is a crime in North Korea because I believe it's an evil country. North Korea. Too easy to slip up, not bow meaningfully enough to the rotund leader's chain or something, and spend the next 30 years picking bean sprouts by hand while listening to poorly recorded patriotic tunes. The communist-occupied parts of China because of the CCP. Any hardcore Islamist state. Basically anywhere that is controlled by a brutal dictatorship. Any place with anti-gay, anti-female, or anti-American sentiments. I am not interested in dying in a foreign prison. I honestly think a list of okay countries is probably shorter. Turkey shitty dictator. Russia shitty dictator. China shitty dictator. Iran theocratic shithole. France, it's France. South American countries where dengue fever is prevalent. I contracted an Asian strain which I am now partially immune to, but if I get the other strains my doctor says I'm toast. Any Arab country and any country that requires anything other than the standard US immunizations. I always have a reaction to immunizations, and COVID and flu shots lay me up for a week or so no countries that require shots for malaria and the like. Brazil. When I was 11 I found a book in my school's library about a street kid in Rio and it gave me a huge distaste and horror of that country that I still can't shake over 25 years later. Australia, because of spiders and heat. But if someone pays everything I guess I can go. And if I have a good companion. Norway, Iceland, all of those northern European countries. I don't like the cold. I bet there are beautiful landscapes but no thank you. Somalia. No explanation. India, Pakistan, Bangladesh and Central Asian except Kazakhstan, Palestine because I can be bombed at every second, Saudi Arabia. It's basically just Asian countries. Lamau, pretty much the entire Middle East, Egypt, China, Indonesia and more. I like to avoid supporting authoritarian governments as much as I can. The People's Republic of China has become the dangerous place for Westerners to travel. Americans, Canadians, Aussies, Japanese and others are only a Xi Jinping hissy fit away from being scooped up on bogus charges and held for diplomatic ransom. And it's a shame, too. It used to be a wonderful place for a travel adventure. All the usual: Egypt, Russia, Somalia. And then there is the US. I just don't like Americans. And I don't want to be in debt forever for a sprained ankle or something. Add insane tipping culture, teenagers in cars and lack of public transport, or public anything. Even no sidewalks in some places. No thank you. Anywhere I have already traveled is on a avoid unless there's nowhere better, but I don't have a do not travel list. Everywhere has something to offer. All countries in South America. All countries in Africa. The crime is insane. I just don't really care to see it. Any country in a continent starting with A, either too much people, too many crazy religious people or too poor countries. Which leaves Europe and Oceania. China, Turkey, Poland, Hungary, Cuba, and so on, because I don't want to sponsor dictators. America, because I don't want to be used as free healthcare by the airline, then risk being sued to hell and back. Before another one says but you're probably safe due to Good Samaritan laws, think well and hard about that word probably. China, because I don't speak the language and have been swayed by the media I've seen about the country. The German-speaking part of Switzerland. I have met plenty of them through work and they always would bring up how much better it is in Switzerland than it is in my home country. I'm afraid if I were to go there I'd never leave because it is too awesome. You didn't hear this from me, but come 2025 Yugoslavia is making a comeback, and my team is not looking forward to it. But hey, not our pay grade. The final decision is up to the High One. Aside from the usual suspects countries in wars, dictatorships or theocracies, I also include the USA. The permeating con-man mentality, plus easy access to weapons, makes me dread the place. Pretty much anywhere with a high crime rate or anywhere where the likelihood for terrorism, kidnapping, rape or robbery is high, or anywhere with an unstable political climate. Secondly, anywhere I could likely get sick from drinking the wrong thing. Bali belly deli belly. It's probably okay for tourists, but Brazil. Too many our Darwin Awards and our some Wi-Fi vids come from here. This gets asked once a week now. Annoyance with what Ask Reddit has become aside, when this does get its weekly posting, can we just rephrase it to, Ask Reddit, why don't you like Egypt? Dictatorships, surveillance states, all those whack fundamentalist countries where my husband would have to sign a permission slip for me to see a doctor.